The left has stooped to new lows. My parents' dog was just poisoned. So a few months ago, the far left hate group Hope Not Hate doxed me and my family. They put my address out there, so anyone could find mine and my parents' address. So not only they dox me, they dox my parents as well, who, by the way, have nothing to do with me at all, with the work I'm doing. So now my parents' dog has been poisoned. Now obviously I cannot say for certain who has done this, but my suspicions really go towards some Antifa or far left type, because Antifa has been known to do this before. They have poisoned the conservatives' dogs before. One interesting thing to note is this comment here I got on one of my YouTube videos shortly after I was doxed by Hope Not Hate. So this guy writes, "Where does his family live? Do they use guard dogs? What kind of security at their homes? I'll do this one for free. Thank me later." So this guy even mentions dog. I mean, was it possibly this guy that poisoned my parents' dog? This is clearly a threat. So my parents' dog, a German Shepherd, was really sad. He was, all of a sudden, he started vomiting and convulsing, and he was even paralyzed at times. He would walk up the stairs, and all of a sudden, boom, he would go completely paralyzed and just fall down the stairs. And this went on for several hours. And at one point, my parents thought that he was very close to death. They thought he was actually dying. Which, I mean, he probably was at one point, but luckily, thank to God, he managed to survive and overcome the attack. Now, my parents took the dog to the vet to take blood tests and so on, and the vet said that this was no doubt a poisoning that had happened. And I mean, when you think of all the symptoms, it was, I mean, there's no doubt it was a poisoning. So I mean, what kind of scumbag does this? There's one thing, okay, maybe the far left maybe doesn't like my reporting, my honest reporting about what's happening in Sweden. Maybe they don't like my opinions. That's fine, I don't care. But why on earth are you targeting my parents who... First of all, why are you targeting my parents who have nothing to do with my work at all? And secondly, why are you trying to kill my parents' dog, who is absolutely 100% completely doesn't have anything to do with me at all? Even if you don't like my reporting, don't attack my parents, and especially don't attack my parents' dog. I mean, what kind of scumbag would go to this low to attack try to kill an innocent animal because they don't like someone's opinion? What kind of scumbag do you have to be? So me and my family's address get doxed, and then a few months later someone tries to poison my parents' dog. How insane is that? Here is the tolerant left for you. They're supposed to be so peaceful and tolerant. Yeah, except when they try and kill someone's dog in a hate crime attack because they don't like their opinions, because that's what this is. This is a hate crime. This is a hate crime attack. So this is yet another example of a far left terrorist hate crime. Because let's be honest, Antifa and the far left are overrepresented extremely when it comes to hate crime attacks and terrorist attacks like this. You know, Antifa has been classified as a terrorist group. Yet most governments in Europe seem to completely ignore Antifa, when they are the most violent, when the far left is the most violent, hateful group out there. They try and call all right-wingers for hateful, hate crime, Nazi, blah 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 blah, when they themselves are the authoritarian, communist, wannabe dictators. Hateful. They are hateful. They're not tolerant, they're not inclusive, not anything like that. That's all just lies. That's what they could... You know, they accuse others of what they are themselves. They call the right-wingers for hateful, you know, hate crime and all of this bullcrap, when they themselves are the very things they call others. they are the ones that are hateful. They are the ones that are racist. They are the ones that are, very often hate. The far left is very often overrepresented with anti-Semitic incidents as well. The far left are the very things that they try and claim others to be. That's a very good tactic as well. Accuse your opponent of what you yourself are, because then people ignore. Then people tend to ignore that they are actually the hateful ones, and then they just look at the right wingers. While in reality, it is the right wingers that are loving, peaceful, and tolerant, while the left wingers are the hateful ones, as evident in this attack. I mean, what kind of scumbag would attack an innocent animal like this, trying to kill him? He was vomiting, convulsing, and even paralyzed. Imagine the pain, imagine the horrible things that the dog went through during those hours. It's just disgusting. Now the left is doing this to try and scare me into silence. Well, I have a word for you guys. You're not going to succeed in trying to scare me. I'm not scared. If anything, you only compel me to report more about the truth what's happening in Sweden, because I know, because you are trying to scare me into silence, I will not be scared by such mafia tactics. I will continue to report the truth about what's happening, and you guys really need to look at yourselves, because as you know, Earth is just temporary. There's something more after Earth, and you better want to make sure that you go to the right place. And something tells me that if you try to kill innocent animals, you're not the kind of person that is heading the right way, to say it that way. So get your life in order, guys. Now, trying to scare your political opponent into silence by attacking, physically attacking either themselves or animals like this, that is terrorism. That is the very definition of terrorism, trying to scare people into silence. Well, I won't be scared, because the truth is more powerful than your scare tactics. I can also add that my parents spoke to the British police, because they are in the UK. They spoke to the British police about the dog being poisoned, and guess what their response was? Well, we cannot know for sure that he was poisoned. This is the kind of response. If someone said anything bad about Muslims, I can bet you that they would be on the case right away. But when a conservative's dog is poisoned, meh. We cannot be certain that the dog was poisoned. Nah. Don't really care about that stuff. I mean, it's a joke. Please like this video, guys. Make sure to share it all over the place to help get the truth out there about what's happening, because, I mean, another hate crime attack from the far left shouldn't happen. The mainstream media obviously won't report on this. Make sure to share this to help get the truth out there about the far left, who they actually are. Because the mainstream media are in bed with the far left. Many of them are far left themselves, so they won't report on this. Make sure to share this so people know about what these people actually are doing. Make sure to subscribe as well if you haven't done so, and hit the notification bell to get notifications whenever new videos come out. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As you know, it's not that cheap to do independent journalism like I am doing, reporting the truth about what's actually happening in Sweden and in the world. Now, as you might know, PayPal recently banned me from their website, so I cannot get support that way anymore. But I have some. If you want to support my work, anything will be highly appreciated, so that we can help beat the globalist mainstream media that are not reporting the truth about what's happening because they have a biased agenda. If you want to support me, you can now do so either on Patreon or the new free speech website Maker Support, where you can either do a one-time donation or support me monthly if you so wish. And if you support me with $10 or more per month, you will be featured in the credits in the end of all of my videos. Now, of course, if you want to stay anonymous and not be mentioned in credits, that's also completely fine. But here goes today's shout out to my wonderful supporters on Maker Support and Patreon.